Harvard study tracked over 92,000 people for 28 years, and they found that just half a tablespoon of one common food every day cut the risk of dying from any cause by 19%. It's not a supplement, it's not expensive, and it's probably already in your kitchen. Welcome to Second Prime, where science meets your second chapter. Today, we're going through 7 specific foods that target 7 different aging mechanisms in your body. Not trends. Not superfoods of the month. These are foods with hard clinical evidence behind them. And I'll tell you exactly how much to eat and why it works. Number 1. Extra virgin olive oil. And the aging mechanism it fights? Chronic inflammation, the slow, silent kind that drives heart disease, cancer, and neurodegeneration after 50. Olive oil contains oleocanthal, a compound so powerful it works like ibuprofen at the molecular level. It suppresses the COX-2 enzyme, the same pathway targeted by anti-inflammatory drugs. That Harvard study I mentioned, published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology in 2022, it found that people who consumed more than half a tablespoon of olive oil daily had a 19% lower risk of all-cause mortality, 29% lower risk of neurodegenerative disease, and 17% lower cancer mortality. Here's your action step. Replace butter, margarine, or vegetable oil with extra virgin olive oil. 1 tablespoon a day on salads, bread, or drizzled over cooked vegetables. That's it. Number 2. Blueberries. These target oxidative stress, the cellular rust that accelerates every aging process in your body. The magic ingredient is anthocyanins, the compounds that give blueberries their deep purple-blue color. A 2024 review in Frontiers in Nutrition confirmed that blueberry anthocyanins activate anti-aging pathways, including FOXO and PI3K-SHIKT, basically your cell's built-in defense and repair systems. And a University of Exeter trial showed that just 12 weeks of blueberry supplementation improved brain blood flow and working memory in older adults. If that one surprised you, hit that like button. It really helps us reach more people over 50 who need this information. Now here's the practical bit. Half a cup a day, fresh or frozen. And actually, frozen blueberries retain slightly higher antioxidant levels because they're flash frozen at peak ripeness. Throw them in oatmeal, blend into a smoothie, or just eat them straight. Number 3. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. The aging target here? Telomere length. Telomeres are the protective caps on the ends of your chromosomes. Think of them like the plastic tips on shoelaces. Every time your cells divide, those caps get shorter. When they get too short, the cell dies or becomes dysfunctional. That's aging at the molecular level. A randomized controlled trial out of Ohio State University found that omega-3 supplementation lowered oxidative stress by 15%. And here's the key finding. People who improved their omega-6 to omega-3 ratio actually saw their telomeres lengthen. Not just slow down, lengthen. A meta-analysis of 5 clinical trials confirmed an overall beneficial effect of omega-3s on telomere length. The dose that moved the needle? About 1.5 grams of combined EPA and DHA, which is roughly what you get in a 3-ounce serving of wild salmon. Aim for 2 to 3 servings of fatty fish per week. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, or herring, all work. Number 4. Broccoli sprouts, not regular broccoli. Broccoli sprouts, and they target something called Nrf2 activation, your body's master switch for antioxidant defense. Here's why this matters. You have a protein called Nrf2 sitting inside every cell. When activated, it turns on over 200 protective genes that fight oxidative damage, reduce inflammation, and help your cells detoxify. But as you age, Nrf2 activity drops. Broccoli sprouts contain sulforaphane, and they have up to 100 times more of it than mature broccoli heads. A 2023 study showed that sulforaphane activated the Keap1-Nrf2 pathway so effectively it reversed age-related oxidative damage in skin cells and improved antioxidant markers in aging tissue. You only need about 2 ounces, roughly 60 grams, a day. You can grow them on your kitchen counter in 3 days for pennies. Toss them on sandwiches, salads, or blend them into smoothies. Now, before I get to number 5, this is the one that genuinely changed how I think about aging. If you're finding this useful, hit that subscribe button. We put out new, science-backed longevity content every Monday and Thursday. All right, let's keep going. Number 5. Fermented foods. Kimchi, sauerkraut, kefir, yogurt, kombucha. These target gut microbiome diversity, which declines sharply with age. And this isn't some fringe theory. Stanford University ran a clinical trial, published in Cell in 2021, where they put 36 adults on a high fermented food diet for 10 weeks. The results were striking. Microbiome diversity increased significantly, and 19 inflammatory markers dropped, including interleukin-6, one of the key drivers of age-related chronic inflammation. I want you to think about that. 10 weeks of eating more fermented foods, and 19 different inflammatory proteins went down. A high-fiber diet, tested in the same study, didn't produce the same microbiome diversity boost. Start with 2 to 3 servings of fermented foods a day. A cup of kefir at breakfast, some sauerkraut with lunch, kimchi with dinner. Mix it up. Number 6. Green tea. Specifically the compound EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate, and the aging mechanism it targets, autophagy. That's your body's cellular cleanup crew. Autophagy is the process where your cells break down and recycle damaged proteins and dysfunctional components. It's essential for staying healthy as you age, but autophagy naturally declines in your 50s and 60s. Research published in Aging and Disease found that long-term EGCG consumption enhanced the autophagy marker LC3-ETA, meaning the cell's self-cleaning machinery was running harder. In animal models, EGCG reduced the average risk of mortality across the lifespan by nearly 47% and increased median lifespan by 25%. Now, those are animal numbers, not human, so let's be careful. But the autophagy activation has been confirmed in human cell studies too. And just so you know, some of the links in the description are affiliate links. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps support the channel. Aim for 3 to 4 cups of green tea daily. Matcha counts too, and actually packs even more EGCG per serving because you're consuming the whole leaf. Number 7. Walnuts. The aging mechanism? Glycation. This is when sugar molecules bond to proteins or fats in your body and create compounds called AGEs, advanced glycation end products. Think of it like caramelization happening inside your tissues. AGs stiffen your arteries, wrinkle your skin, and damage your organs. Walnuts contain the highest total polyphenol content of any tree nut, and polyphenols are potent inhibitors of age formation. They trap reactive sugar molecules before they can do damage. The Walnuts and Healthy Aging Study, a 2-year randomized controlled trial with 708 adults aged 63 to 79, found that walnut supplementation increased polyphenol intake and urinary polyphenol excretion, confirming the body was actively using these protective compounds. A small handful a day, about 1 ounce, or roughly 14 walnut halves. Keep it simple. Toss them on salads, mix into yogurt, or just snack on them mid-afternoon. So those are the 7 foods, each one targeting a different way your body ages. Olive oil for inflammation, blueberries for oxidative stress, fatty fish for telomeres, broccoli sprouts for Nrf2, fermented foods for your gut, green tea for autophagy, and walnuts for glycation. You don't have to eat all 7 every single day. Pick 2 or 3 to start with tomorrow. Which one surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and I'll pin the best answers. If you want to know the 5 exercises that pair perfectly with this anti-aging